Hi friends, today we are going to do a project based on value. Now value in art is really important because value is the thing that can make your art look more realistic or less realistic depending on how you use it. Now, the definition of value is the range of a color from light to dark, meaning the lightest value of it or the darkest value of it. But there's two things about value that you need to know. You can get a very light version of a color by adding white to it, and that's called a tint. Or you can get a very dark version of a color by adding black to it, and that gives you a shade. The more white you add, the lighter the color. The more black you add, the darker the color. It just depends on how much or how little white or black you add. That will actually determine how light or dark the color is. So let's talk about what we're doing today. Today we're going to do a little drawing based on the artwork of a person named Barbel Smith. Barbel Smith is a Canadian painter who was born in Germany but immigrated to Canada as a child and fell in love with Canada's landscapes. They're beautiful. They spent their time drawing and painting and then eventually went to college at Alberta University and studied the arts. She currently lives in Ontario and she paints in both acrylic paint and oil paint, and she uses a lot of value. After this video, I'll post another video where she talks about how she paints. It's very interesting if you want to watch it. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with our drawing. Now, if you want to do this as a painting, you can get a white piece of paper and paint the background blue. If you don't have paint at home, you can just use a piece of blue construction paper. You're also going to need some other things. I'm using oil pastels for this project, but if you don't have oil pastels, you can use crayons. They will work the same. You're going to need the following colors. You're going to need white, you're going to need a light blue, you're going to need green, and I have two different greens, a dark green and a lighter green. And then you're also going to need a yellow. You might need a black also, so if you want to get a black out, you can use that too. So, the first thing that we are going to do is create some clouds in our sky. So I'm going to take my white and I'm going to create some cloud shapes. Now they're not really clouds. We're creating something called the Northern Lights, and that's a phenomenon in the sky that they have in Canada. And I will show you some pictures of what the Northern Lights look like after this video. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to create some light cloud shapes, and this is going to be the lightest version of a color in our project. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do just a little shape like this. It doesn't have to be precise, and I'm going to go ahead and color that in. And I'm going to do one that goes the opposite way. I'm going to go back and do one that goes the other way. And one more that goes the opposite way again. This one's going to be a little smaller, excuse me. Okay, so I'm done with my white for right now. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to get my light blue. And I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, no, I'm not going to use my blue. I'm going to use my yellow. And you just want to put it right up next to the white. Now, if you're using oil pastels, you can kind of blend these together with your finger. Or if you have baby oil at your house, you can take a little bit of baby oil and blend those colors together. If you're using crayon, you can try the baby oil trick, but I don't think that'll work. But it's okay, as long as they're just really close next to each other. And you're just gonna go in and you're gonna keep doing The same thing with the yellow that you did with the white. Now, I'm coloring over them to kind of mix the colors together a little bit, and you can see that. And the last one. Okay. Next, I'm gonna take my light blue and I'm gonna do the exact same thing one more time. Now, the fun thing about this is you're also mixing your other colors together, and when you mix the blue with the yellow, you're gonna get a green, because blue and yellow mixed will give you green. All right, so now I have those colors mixed together. My next step, I'm gonna go back in with my light blue and I'm gonna draw some vertical lines to kind of separate these sections out. These are going to end up being our northern lights. So I'm going to take my light blue. Actually, first I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to bring this yellow up just a little bit to kind of make a line. Then I'm going to take my light blue and I'm going to go right up next to it. I know it might be a little hard to see on this blue paper, but it's there, trust me. And then I'm going to take this blue that I colored in and go right up next on the other side. Okay, I'm going to go in and do the exact same thing again. I'm going to come down and I'm going to make a line that goes up. And these are going to end up being the northern lights that are coming down in the sky. And then you can also do this on the other side. It's a pretty interesting phenomenon that happens, but you can really only see it from certain spots in Canada. You want to go back in a little bit with your yellow and kind of clean that up some. Maybe there's a little bit of white in there. go ahead and we're going to do some water that is underneath here. So we're going to take our light blue again, and we're going to bring this light blue color down. And for right now, we're going to color this whole area in blue to about right here. And we're going to do the other side also. You want to leave this part in the middle of the paper, and I'll show you why in a second. Now, because these northern lights are on top of water, you're going to see the reflection in the water. So you're going to take your white, and then you're just going to go underneath it and give us a reflection. You can kind of blend it into the blue a little bit. Then you can go back in with your yellow. Okay. Next step, we're going to take a blue, and we're going to draw some land over here on this side. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to draw some hills. And then I'm going to draw some tree shapes. Now, I only have room for one, but if you want to do another one, you can. I'm actually going to draw a teeny tiny one down here. And don't worry if you go over what you've already colored in, because you're going to add another color. Okay, so now is where your green comes in. So I'm going to color in my trees. I'm going to take my green, I'm also going to take my light green and add some light to it. If you want to add some white, you can do that also. Okay, now I'm going to take a brown, if you have access to a brown, and I'm going to color in the trunks. If you don't have a brown, you can just mix orange and black together. Orange and black create brown, and brown is a shade of orange. Now, you can either use white or yellow to add a little bit of light to those tree trunks. Okay. Now we're going to go in and we're going to color in our land. So I'm going to take a brown again, and I'm going to color in those areas. And you can color yours in a little bit better than what I'm doing. going to add a little bit of a darker brown to that. Okay. Now, your next step is to take your black and you're going to outline those trees. Both of them. Also going to outline your land. Okay. And that's it. If you want to add some extra, you can. You don't have to. It's up to you. So, I can't wait to see what you come up with. Underneath this video, I'm going to put in some handouts for some landscape drawings that she did for her Northern Lights. You can use those to help you draw it out in case you don't want to go back and rewatch this whole video, okay? I can't wait to see what you come up with. Don't forget to take a photo and submit it using the blue submit button. And have fun. See ya.